or won't he play till he's 100 question still lingers with Patriots fans and with Patriots brass. After an MVP season at age 40, it seemed Brady could play forever, she said, sort of sarcastically. But then a tough Super Bowl loss, and then some existential thoughts in a Facebook documentary, and suddenly that dream seems just a wee bit pipey. Patriots owner Robert Kraft spoke about Brady to The Athletic. He said, quote, "I hope he plays. He's at a different point in his life, but that is something for he and his family to decide what is right for him. Me personally, I'd like to see him play as long as he can. He's driven to excel. I think as long as he feels he's like that, he'll keep playing. We're so lucky to have him in our system." Coach, should the Patriots focus all their draft picks on building around Brady as opposed to looking to the future? They have like a window right now, and that window is going to close. They can win now, or they can really start looking to the draft and looking to their future.
Well, I think when Tom was in his early 30s and even mid-30s, there was the window for the Patriots. The window's right now. The window's right now. Who knows what the window is for Tom Brady? Is it this year? Is it next year? Is it the year after? The Patriots need to do what they have consistently done, which is take a full team approach as opposed to saying we're just going to do or be built for this year. And they have an opportunity with the draft that they haven't had in a long time, having 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. I think they can support Tom and improve the team across the board with what they have.
Do you think, knowing what they know now, they would have done the Jimmy Garoppolo pick? They would have made that decision all over again?
In what do they know now that they didn't know then?
That knowing that they're spending a second-round pick for him, they're going to get 7 quarters of football out of him and trade him for a second-round pick. Do you think they would have done that? They would have made that draft pick then all over again, knowing what they know now? Yeah,
because you look, if you could look back and say Tom Brady's not going to get hurt, we're not going to need this quarterback, that'd be great. You'd never pick any player that you weren't going to use, but you have to go in with the assumption that everybody's vulnerable, and it could happen in the preseason, it could happen the first game of the season. I think they're really happy with the pick, and they got back value in relationship to where they drafted him.
The reason I ask the question is because the Patriots are almost 2 franchises. The franchise pre-Brady Belichick and the franchise since then. 31 years they played in the NFL before Brady took his first start. They went to 2 Super Bowls, won 0. In the 17 since then, they've been to 8. They've won 5. What the Patriots look like post-Tom Brady, we don't know. But we know where they are right now. They are a perennial Super Bowl contender. And I think the conventional wisdom is because they have 2 firsts and 2 seconds, because there's 5, maybe 6 quality quarterbacks in this draft, they're going to go in the first 2 rounds. Of course, the Patriots are going to draft one of those guys as the heir apparent. And what I'm wondering is, if you're just trying to win as many Super Bowls as possible, are you not best served using that pick either to trade for a player that can play right now, to draft a player that can play right now, to do something that helps you in 2018 and 2019, as opposed to a guy who you hope in 2018 and 2019 does not see the field?
Well, how do you know that Tom Brady's not going to get hurt in the preseason or early in the season? And how do you, if you feel strongly about a quarterback in the second round or wherever they end up taking one? Belichick's never taken a quarterback in the first round in 23 years as a head coach, so I assume it'll come in a round after that. You have to build depth. You have to build for contingencies. What do we talk about with New England all the time? They're really good at dealing with change. They're really good at dealing with the different challenges that come up during the course of the season, and that's the way they're built.
I'm from a different school of thought. Because I don't believe that the window closes when Tom Brady. I don't know why you guys say this. I believe Bill Belichick, yeah, it's easy. The numbers are, when Brady's been there. But Bill Belichick made him. You guys act like Tom Brady came in as the #1 pick in the draft. He took over the franchise. No, they made him who he is. So we need to give them credit. I believe Bill's a lot better coach than he was 17 years ago. And I know Kraft would admit he's a lot better owner. So for me, I don't look at it, man, we have to do all this right now. They have a contingency plan for how they're going to succeed. And I believe that Josh McDaniel was part of their contingency in case Bill decides to leave there also. So I believe they will spend either a second or a third round pick to get a quarterback. As long as Bill Belichick is coaching the Patriots, I will have faith in that they will be a playoff team and they will have an opportunity to compete for a championship. It is not contingent on Tom Brady being there. I believe in the totality of the system. Tom Brady's playing one position, all right? He's not He's not doing the offensive line. He's not creating the passing game.
But you always say it is the most important position, and without that position...
Let me tell you what's the most important thing is to have a great head coach. I much have a great head coach because it's affecting the whole roster compared to one player and it being a quarterback. I don't care. Joe Montana, who was he without Bill Walsh? Okay, so we always give the quarterback credit. To me, the number one asset in a franchise is the head coach. And Bill Belichick is the best in the history of football. So you tell me when the window closes is when Bill Belichick decides to go somewhere else. That's when I'll start to look at New England in a different light.
Do you agree with that? That a great head coach can have more of an impact than a great quarterback? Because I feel like a lot of good head coaches have been screwed by the fact they never had the quarterback. Now maybe good versus great, I don't know, but
I think you need a marriage of the two, and I think that typically they play off each other, and I don't think Tom would be Tom without Bill, and I think that Bill would have struggled mightily without Tom. And so there's a fusion there, and there's a relationship there, and it fits and it works, and that's why it's been as successful as it is. And when we look about building around Tom, how did they lose the Super Bowl last year? They lost the Super Bowl because of defense. They gave up 41 points.
Right.
So to improve the team overall helps Tom.
Last night, I was on the subway. We were going to dinner, and I ran into a guy who graduated from Michigan, same time as Tom Brady. True story. He told me him and Tom Brady went to a few fraternity parties and everything. He said Tom Brady didn't have no Giselle on his arm. Like, Tom Brady was no sure, oh, this is the greatest. And Mel Kiper didn't have no report about it. If you take him, your franchise is going to get turned around. Tom Brady was just an ordinary guy. And we forget, they were a running team, a defensive team, the first part of his career. Bill Belichick changed the offense, that they became a predominantly throwing team. Then they went to a tight end. Then they went to two tight ends. And they rotated their backs. They created that in New England, and they created the monster that is Tom Brady. Yeah. Let's not forget that.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for being with us, joining us. Coming up, talk some basketball is Russell Westbrook stealing from his own teammates. Next up, first things first.
Coach, you need a resume for that wide receiver.